All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Zoho Flow Deep Dive series. This is the second edition of the series. Uh, Today, we'll be talking about conditional logic capabilities in Zoho Flow. So last week was an introduction to the platform. What kind of problem this product solves. That was what we were talking about last session. This session is going to be about conditional logic capabilities, what kind of tools this platform offers, and what kind of use cases you can solve using the tools that are offered in this platform. I am Karthik, and we will also be joined by a product expert who will be available in the chat. So, whatever questions that you have, you can leave them in the chat and we will answer them for you. And if any question goes unanswered, you can still leave them in the chat and we will pick it up and get back to you. There's another thing that you can do. You can also reach us at support@zohoflow.com with all of your questions. That will give us more context so we can get specific solutions for you through our support channel. All right. So some general instruction, as I was talking about, the audience will be on mute. If you have any questions, please do use the questions tab. We'd love to hear your questions. There will be some polls as well. Please do participate in the polls. We'd love to know what kind of audience that we are dealing with right now so that we can customize a webinar to suit your specific requirements and produce other helpful resources for you as well. And you will have a recording of the session after the session is over. We'll be sending that to you as well. Okay. Now, we will be talking about a few things in this webinar, especially with regards to conditional logic capabilities. But before that, I will be discussing, there will be a quick recap about what you can accomplish using Zoho Flow. Last session was an introduction. We'll take a look at the kind of problems, the kind of solutions that you can build using Zoho Flow. Then, conditional logic is something that will let you build custom solutions for your organizational problems. Every organization is going to have different sort of problems, and conditional logic tools are the kind of tools that will help you solve those problems tailored to your organization, very specific solutions for specific problems. All right, we'll be taking a look at that, and I'll show you some use cases. When you get a taste of what kind of use cases that you can solve using Zoho, then it opens up possibilities for you to build your own use cases and solve the problems that you face in your organization using Zoho yourself. So that is the agenda for this session. So let's get into it. Now, a quick recap about Zoho Flow and the kind of problems you can solve using Zoho Flow. So custom integrations as opposed to native integrations. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to um, get data from Shopify to Zoho inventory. How do we do that? It turns out that we don't have to do much because Zoho Inventory already supports a native integration with Shopify. So all we have to do is turn on that integrations and we're good to go. However, what happens when you want customer data from Shopify to, let's say, Zoho Books? Zoho Books doesn't have an integration with Shopify right now. So how do we solve that problem? That's where custom integrations. That's you essentially have to build your own integrations. That is where a platform like Zoho Flow comes into the picture. What it allows you to do, it not only allows you to build the kind of integrations with the kind of apps that you're looking for, that surpasses native integrations. What if the app that you're looking for doesn't support integrations with the other app that is present in your stack? That is one use case, but the power of Zoho Flow is that it gives you optionality. You're free to choose your stack. You can choose the app that works for you without having to worry about integrations. That is something that is very important. Flexibility in choosing your stack, whatever apps that work best for your team, you can choose them. If you invest in an integration platform like Zoho Flow, you can build the integration that you're looking for yourself. All your integrations are in one place. So that is the benefit of Zoho Flow. Now, another thing that this this product allows you to do is, we have almost 50 apps, 50 products in the Zoho ecosystem, and not all of those products are integrated with one another, and that's probably that is going to take a lot of time. But use cases will be varied. We will need, any organization will, using multiple Zoho products, will want to transfer data from one app to the other, and native integrations might not be there even within two Zoho products. So Zoho Flow bridges that gap for you. You can use Zoho Flow and experience the best of Zoho. That is what, that is the probably the key value of Zoho Flow in the Zoho ecosystem itself. Experience the best of all of the Zoho products using Zoho Flow, so that you build almost your own ecosystem of apps, and then Zoho Flow is kind of in the center, powering everything through, so that every all of your apps kind of revolve around Zoho Flow. So that is one of the benefits here. And the other one, as much as Zoho Flow powers up the other, powers up your SaaS ecosystem by connecting all of your applications together. It's not just about Zoho. We support hundreds of applications, almost 800 apps right now. So even if you use non-Zoho applications, you can still use Zoho Flow. Connect your Zoho apps and non-Zoho applications. It's all about flexibility. It's all about optionality. That is what you can accomplish using Zoho Flow. All right. Now, let's get into today's topic. Today's topic, that was the recap. Today's topic was about conditional logic capabilities. So, you know, if not for logic capabilities, what we are left with is what you see on the left side of your screen, which is data transfer. You want your data from, let us say, Shopify. And what you want to do is you want to add your Shopify customers as leads in your CRM, every one of them. In that case, the left hand side, what you see, what you want to do essentially is data transfer. This should suffice. All of your Shopify customers get into your Zoho CRM account as leads. But now let's assume that you want customers who've purchased for $500 or more. You want only those customers as leads in your CRM. Now, how do we do that? Now, that is where conditional statements come in. Now we're talking about a workflow. So, for example, what would happen in this scenario is the customers who have purchased for $500 or more, you'd want them in your CRM. Otherwise, you'd want the rest of your customers in some other applications. Perhaps it's your help desk. Perhaps it's some sort of a project management tool. It depends on your use case. But then, now we're talking about three applications here. It's a full-fledged workflow. It's not just a simple data transfer wherein you get, you just linearly transfer data from one app to the other. All right. So that is the power of the logic capabilities that Zoho Flow will offer. And just as far as workflow is concerned, if you are building a workflow, you would want to have some sort of logic built into your workflow. So A quick reminder, everyone, if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to leave them in the questions tab. We do have our product expert with us, and they will be answering all of the questions for you. All right. Now, logic tools. So, what kind of logic tools do they offer? Do we offer rather? We're talking about today at least. We'll be talking about three key logic tools that Zoho Flow offers. One, decisions, custom functions, and delays. Okay. Now, decisions. I was giving you an example a couple of slides ago about this example, right? Shopify customers more than $500. One gets into your CRM as leads, and the rest of the customers go into some sort of project management app or any other app that suits your custom use case. Now, those are decisions. Let's take another example here. Let's say you have a form. Okay, I'll just show you a form. That would be much better. So what you see in front of you is a very simple form. All right. Now, the last field in this form is called company size. Now, what I mean by company size here is the number of employees. So what might be a good example to illustrate decisions is when someone selects more than 100 as their company size. Perhaps you would want them in your CRM directly so that your sales team can get in touch with them as soon as possible. All right. Otherwise, if they choose this option or the other, you would want to send all of this form data and raise it as a ticket in Zoho Desk. Okay. So this is a simple example, and this can be solved using a simple decision in Zoho Flow. I'll be showing you how decisions work inside the product as well. But this problem kind of illustrates how conditional logic capabilities in Zoho Flow helps us solve this kind of a practical problem. Okay. Now, custom functions, and as far as decisions are concerned, we're not entirely done with decisions yet. We'll be getting back to them. But right now, I'll just give a quick introduction about custom functions so that we can talk about decisions as well as custom functions together in another use case that is lined up. Okay. So custom functions. Now, what are they? They are the functions that you write to suit your requirements better. So think of Zoho Flow as a user interface for programming. Okay, all of the drag and drop mapping that you might have seen from the last session, everything is just a substitute, let us say, for traditional programming. However, it might not be possible for complex use cases. Drag and drop kind of a solution might not be possible for complex use cases. For those occasions, we might need to write our own custom functions. Custom functions are written in Deluge, Zoho's own language, and this offers maximum customization. Now, I'll give you some examples of when these custom functions are used. Lookup tables. Okay, what are lookup tables? Let's say you have a serial number and an employee or some or a SKU ID in your inventory app, and it is marked with another item. And what you want to do is you want to match the serial numbers of the two applications here. Zoho inventory and Zoho books. A customer order and an inventory item, they have to be mapped together somehow, but they don't have a unique primary key, let us say. they don't share that kind of a unique ID. What do we do then? We use a custom function. The same goes for date times. uh, you want to, let us say, convert the date format from, let's say, date, month, and year to probably month, date, year, or any other format that you prefer, or probably the app that you're working for expects. So these are a few of the examples in which custom functions will come in handy, but they offer infinite customization. The sky is the limit as far as using custom functions in your workflows are concerned. You can do almost whatever you want with them. Now, we'll get into a use case so that you'll know exactly how custom functions can be used inside the product. Now, this is our use case here. What we want to do, we'll have a very simple form here, and what we want to accomplish is, if someone uses the form, let's say, it's a very simple contact us form. If people reach out to us using their corporate business accounts, we want to send them to CRM so that our sales team can reach out to them. They should be marked as leads. The other customers who are using very common Gmail and Outlook accounts, common accounts, they should probably be raised as general tickets in desk. So how do we make this happen? This is what I'll be showing you right now. Okay. So let's create a flow from scratch. Let's say corporate leads CRM. Corporate leads from contact, let's form to CRM to be more precise. So what kind of form am I talking about? So this is the simple form that I was referring to. So what we want to happen is, when people mention their email IDs over here, we'll have to, if it's something like, johndoe@gmail.com, that has to get to, that has to be raised as a ticket in desk. Otherwise, it has to go to CRM over here. Now, how do we make that happen? That is what I'm going to show you. Now let's just configure a trigger first. Now we'll go ahead and choose Zoho Forms. So I'm choosing a connection. So you see that all of the forms that I have in my forms account are listed over here. So I'm going ahead and choosing this form over here. And just like that, the first part of our workflow is done. We've created a trigger now. So now, this is where a custom function comes in, but I want to show you what we're exactly trying to accomplish here. So let's say John Doe, Doe at testcorp.com. Let's say testcorp is a business email. So what we have to check here is, we have to check this particular field right here. But you see, only the email is getting listed over here. How do we get this particular domain from the email account? That is what we're trying to accomplish. How do we get this alone from over here? This is where a custom function comes in. So you'll have to split this string and get just this part over here. So we have a custom function in place. I'll be explaining that as well. So going to the logic tab and choosing a custom function. have all of our custom functions listed here. So it's called get account from email. And I'll show you what this is. What we have to pass into a custom function is the email. Email is over here, so we're just mapping it. But then I want to show you before I proceed. I want to show you what this custom function actually does. So what it does is it gets the email from the form and it splits it splits whatever comes after at and whatever comes before the dot over here. So we're just getting this substring from this string over here. That's what we're doing with this custom function. That's what it does. And it returns this portion of the string. Okay. So I'll just execute it. And I'll show you just this part. So John Doe at testcorp.com, right? Now it's only returning testcorp. Okay. If you execute it again, John at Gmail. So this is a custom function. This is what it does. Very utilitarian, very practical, and we're using it in a real world use case now. Okay. Now we've split our string and we've obtained a substring. Now we have to check if this is a consumer email account or a business email account. How do we do that? We can add in a decision over here. Now we'll go ahead and so this is the string that we've obtained from the previous custom function equals, let's say, Gmail. I'm just checking if the substring that we obtained from this email is Gmail, or using or over here, or if it's say Outlook, or perhaps we can do another one. We can do, let's say, Yahoo. Okay, these are our conditions. If let's say if account is personal, if the account is personal, what we want to happen is we want it to get to Zoho Desk. So I'll go ahead and choose Zoho Desk. Selecting the right portal over here. Now, get app first name, last name. It is going to be open, and we will mark it to Tom. So the other condition was Zoho CRM. We will create or update a lead here. So all I'm doing over here is again a mapping. First name is going to be first name space last name. And we've selected all the mandatory fields, so this is done. This is our flow. All right. Well, and we will be switching to the one just tried and tested, turning this on. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and test it. So now we just enter a random phone number. So this is Desktop. Now you see that lead from our contact form has landed in our CRM over here. It is not landed in Desk. It has in fact landed only in our CRM account. Now we'll test the other use case as well. Let's say Ramesh L at gmail.com. I will go ahead and check CRM again. We don't see it in our CRM. That means our workflow has worked. But we do see it in our Zoho desk account because of this condition over here. What happened was, if the account name was either Gmail or Outlook or Yahoo, that means it is from a personal account, and that would be raised as a ticket in Zoho desk. Otherwise, if this condition is false, we would consider it as a business account and we'd move this data over to CRM. So now what we've seen is we've covered one custom function and a decision, and we've seen it all in action in a practical real world use case. So this is something that will help you get a feel for this platform. And again, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want with custom functions. I'll go ahead probably and show you another one. How about this one? So I'll tell you what is happening in this workflow over here. So this is again a very simple form. Okay. So what we want to happen is we're choosing a date. Let's say 24. And we're clicking submit. What we want to happen is, let's say, let's do it again, John. What do we want to happen here? I'll show you. So now we have this number right here. 17th November 2023 is 32 days away. What does that mean? How did we get this number when the respondent selected only this date? How did that happen? So that is what I want to show you over here. So what is happening over here is we're using custom functions, and we're using 3 custom functions almost. One custom function is just to reverse the date format. So I'll show you. So what this thing does over here is when the date formats are not in order, when it's reversed, it reverses the date format to um, date, month, and year. It was the other way around by default. Now it reverses the date format. So we have two dates here. One was the current date and one was the appointment date. All right. So we are passing through we're using the function to pass both the current date as well as the date that we obtained from the form. So this is for the current date and this is for the one that is obtained from the form. So once we've done that, so now we have two dates. Now we want to calculate the difference between the two dates so that we have this number over here. So the one that we tried over here 7 days away. So how did we get this number? We got this number by using these two dates. This custom function, difference between two dates, this is exactly what it does. It calculates the difference between these two dates. How does it do it? It's a very simple, we have a lot of date methods in Deluge. It's just using these date methods to calculate the difference between these two dates. So something as simple as a notification countdown, you'll need custom functions because we'll have to manipulate different data types. Date is a data type, string is a different data type. We'll have to, manipulate these data types and get a specific number from two chosen dates. So custom function lets us do that. Now, these two use cases, very practical, very something that most businesses might want to do. This is probably, a good way to give you a taste of how custom functions can help solve practical business problems for you. Now, let's have a quick look at what delays are. Delays are something that helps you, that allows you to wait for a duration. So if you want to, let us say, auto escalate a support ticket, let's say you want to check if a support ticket is still open for after an hour. How do you do that? You use a delay. What delay does is it waits for 60 minutes and then you can check again if the ticket is still open. If it's still open, you can perhaps send a message and click or escalate by some other means. So that's delays are very simple. You can use delays by two ways. You can either use a delay to pause your workflow entirely for a specific duration, or you can pause your workflow till you get to a specific date. In this example is very simple. Let's say you have an event at the end of the month and you only have to send a confirmation email. Before that, you can use a delay to send an email at a specific date as well. So this was about delays. And as we come to the end of the webinar here, we've seen three different logic capabilities that Zoho Flow offers. We've seen practical workflows. I've given you a taste of how you can build your own workflows and solve practical problems using Zoho Flow. Custom functions, we saw that something as simple as changing the date formats, the complexities involved in that. We're talking about different dates here, and we're getting a number from the date. That involve three custom functions, and these capabilities that Zoho Flow offers helps you do that. And we saw very let's call it a common use case wherein we wanted to parse a substring out of an email and then check if it's from a business account or a user account or a consumer account. We did that. We used the custom functions as well as a decision for doing that. Now you can do so much more. It just depends on the use cases that your organization has. You can make that happen using Zoho Flow. The idea is to use Zoho Flow as a user interface for programming. Decisions, what are decisions? In programming terms, they are if-else statements. right? So custom functions lets you build almost any workflow that you want. If you have anything in mind, any sort of data modification, anything in mind, custom functions will help you make that happen for you as well. So this is how it will work in Zoho Flow. Zoho Flow is still a no code, low code platform. However, user interfaces might not be the best idea for very complex use cases. Uh, there, while we will be providing and supporting more and more low code and no code features for you, custom functions will also get enhanced so that you can customize your workflows however you want. It's just a little bit of code, just 3 or 4 lines of code can make your workflow so much powerful. And that is something that you can do yourself. We can help you with that as well. And the benefit of Zoho Flow still remains all of your workflows in one place, custom functions, decisions, all of that makes you tailor your workflows according to your organization. Now, finally, using Zoho Flow as your own business process designer. Um, there are going to be a lot of apps in your stack, and if you probably use Zoho Flow to design your workflows itself, keep Zoho Flow in mind while designing your workflows. That way, again, what I want to reiterate is the amount of optionality that you get, the amount of flexibility that you get with all of these logic capabilities and what we've covered in the last webinar as well. Uh, the flexibility in terms of choosing your own tech stack, choosing your own applications, whether it's Zoho apps, non-Zoho apps, all of that, you get a lot of optionality there as well. So yeah, this is as far as today's session goes. So we'd love to know how, again, if we can get the poll up for them. We'd love to love for you to participate in the poll. Then very specific questions. We might need a little more context. Please contact us in this email address over here, support@zohoflow.com. Please come to us with your questions with a lot of context, and we'll do our best to solve those questions for you. The next session is going to be about Zoho CRM. So very specifically, I know there are a lot of um, uh, people who use Zoho CRM. It's probably the most popular product in our Zoho suite. So how can we use Zoho Flow to create custom Zoho CRM workflows? That is what is going to be covered in the next session. It is going to be on November 15th. I would encourage you to register for that one as well. We will be covering a lot of practical use cases there as well. Yeah, thank you so much for attending. I hope the use cases were of benefit to you. I hope you got a taste of the capabilities that Zoho Flow offers. Try them out. Try a few workflows out. Whatever you can imagine, you can probably solve using a combination of decisions or custom functions. Any code that you can write on your own, that can be done in Zoho Flow. Again, the benefit is that all of your integrations are in Zoho Flow, so that it is easy to debug. It is easy to add another one. It is easy to keep track of all of your integrations in one place.